and welcome back to the WHHI-TV News. Joining us now is Chet Thompson. He is the president and CEO of the American Fuel and Petrochemical Manufacturers. Welcome, Chet.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. That's a mouthful, AFPM.
It is, it is. There has been a lot of media, a lot of news over these last few years about electric cars, EPA versus petroleum. Help us understand where we are with that today and where legislation stands.
All right, well, let me tell you where we are today, and it's more regulatory right now. EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, earlier this year adopted new, what they call tailpipe standards. So standards for how much emissions can come out of a vehicle. And those standards were set very stringently. They were set at 85 grams of carbon per mile. That's the fact. And the reality is that zero gas and diesel powered cars on the road today can meet that standard. In fact, not even the hybrid, so the Prius, can't meet that standard. This is why we believe this is in effect a ban of the ability for people to buy new gas and diesel powered cars. Not because they actually say you can't buy them or you can't sell them, but in order to be sold, automakers have to meet standards that frankly can only be met through electrification.
So as far as future sales of cars and manufacturing, what does that look like? What does that mean for the consumer?
Well, again, it just means the consumer is likely to have less choices to buy a gas or diesel powered car. EPA modeled the outcome of what they think is going to happen as a result of this regulation. And what they find is under a best case scenario, 71% of all new cars will have to be electric by 2032. EPA projects that this rule is going to cost $870 billion over the next 30 years. And normally how these things work is consumers have to pick up that tab.
Okay, so if I'm a consumer, the consumers out there, is there anything we can do to help with this or voice our opinions? How does that work? What do you suggest a consumer do if they're listening to the story? And, you know, whether they like the trend or not, what could someone do, the average American do?
Well, that's a great question, Lisa. Number one, you know, our goal is just to make sure consumers are aware of this. It's really, you know, remarkable how few people even know this is happening. And so number one is to understand it's happening. Number two, we recommend that people reach out to their policymakers and learn more, express their opinion. This is, you know, all about making sure consumers are having a say in what's going, you know, to happen going forward. You're seeing now automakers are concerned by this because they're concerned that the demand for electric vehicles is not going to be at the level it needs, you know, for them to prosper and to sell these cars. And so I think if you're a consumer, what we would tell you to do is go to our website, don'tbanourcars.com, learn about what's happening, the time frame for where it's happening, and then to reach out to policymakers and share your view, whatever that view may be.
Yeah, definitely good advice. And that's what we want to get across, everyone, is, hey, you have a say, so do what you can, as Chet, as you just mentioned, Chet, and voice your opinions there. Anything else you want to share about that as we wrap up on this very important topic that has been in the news a lot lately, for sure, and just going to keep on going?
Yeah. Well, look, I would just end with this and say, you know, electric vehicles, they're great technology. They work for a lot of people. This isn't an anti-electric vehicle. They're fabulous cars, but they don't work for everybody yet.
Yeah.
And until they do, you know, consumers should have the ultimate say on what kind of car that they pick for their family, what car meets their budget, what car meets their travel needs. And that's all what this is about, understanding what's happening and making sure your voices are heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for helping us bring awareness to this very important topic. And that way, if you're watching, you can do as Chet said and just contact your local politician and educate yourself and learn about it. Chet, thanks for sharing about this. We appreciate that. And, you know, we can keep us posted as it goes.
Thank you, Lisa. Have a great day.
And that is going to do it for this edition of the WHHI News. I'm McNair. We'll see you the next time.